With Doubtnut, get instant video solutions to all your maths, physics, chemistry, and biology doubts. Just click the image of the question, crop the question, and get instant video solution. Download Doubtnut app today.
Hello, we are given with a question, and the question says that a cylindrical tank whose cross-section area is 200 centimeters square has a hole in its bottom 1 centimeter square in area. If the water is allowed to flow into the tank from from a tube above it at the rate of 140 centimeter cube per second, how will the water in the tank rise? If the flow of the water into the tank is stopped after above height has been reached, how long will it take for the tank to empty itself through the hole? Right. So first of all, what we are given is, I'll draw the diagram. Right. So we have a hole here, and the area of this tank is given as 2000 centimeters square. Right. And area of this hole is given as 1 centimeter square. Right. Now, since A is very much greater than A, right? So the speed at which we are inserting this water is 140 centimeter cube per second, right? That is the rate at which the water level is rising, right? So let's say that reaches a height h here, right? So from here, what we can say is that the velocity, right? So, right? So applying equation of continuity, what we can say is that this velocity capital V, it is capital V, and the velocity with which it is getting out is equal to root over of 2gh, right? Would be equal to small a into this velocity, that is 2gh, right? For maximum height. So for maximum height, right? So from here, we could say that V square is equal to A square into 2gh max, right? So h maximum would be equal to V square by 2ga square. So that would be equal to, since this is 140, right, square by 2 into g, that is 9.8. We can approximate it to be equal to 10 into the a square, right? That is 1 centimeter square. It was, this is centimeter cube per second. So this is centimeters square. So that is 1 square, right? We could write this to be equal to 9.8 itself. So from here, we get the value, that is, since 9.8 meter per second square it is, right? So we can write it in centimeter per second. So 980 it is into 1 square. Right. So from here, when we calculate this value, right, this value turns out to be equal to 10 centimeter, right? So height is 10 centimeter now for first question, right? Now is the turn of second question, right? So what does second question asks is, if the flow of the water into the tank is stopped after the above height has been reached. So this is height, that is 10 centimeter. How long will it take for the tank to empty itself through the hole? Right? How much time would it take? So let's say it takes time t, right? Since the velocity is given as 2gh, right? And the velocity, capital velocity, is given as a into root over of 2gh, right? So after time, after certain time, it would reach here, let's say, right? So let this be, so let's say this is dh and this is at height h, right? So what we could say is that from here, this dv would be equal to a into dt, right? So that would be equal to, we would have this 2gh into dt, right? So that from there dv would be equal to a, here we would have small h, right? A into, for that small, the volume here, the volume dv would be equal to this a into root over of 2gh into dt, right? So dv would be equal to, from here, minus a dh, right? So from here what we could say is that minus a dh would be equal to a into root over of 2gh, right? Since the area cross sections remain same, but we have certain height, right? That is dh, correct? So that would be this. So from here into dt turns out to be equal to minus a by a into dh by root over of 2gh, right? So what we can say from here is that we can integrate these values to get the final value, right? So from 0 to t this, and from 0 to h, right? So from here we would have t from 0 to t, right? Here the negative, due to negative sign, that would get inverse, and we would get a by a root over of 2g from h to 0 dh by root over of h, right? So we would have from here the value that is equal to a by a root over of 2g, right, to root h from h to 0, right? So we would have here, from here, time t, right? T minus 0 is t. From here minus a by a root 2g. So here we would have 0 minus 2 root h. 2 root h. Right? So that would be equal to, from here we would have this to be equal to, since from here we would have already negative sign, so this would be negative itself. It was positive here because it is going from 0 to h, but we have to find it from h to 0 because the water is getting, the water is leaking out, right? So this, from here, this would be positive term, right? So from here we would have the value to be equal to a root h by a, we would have root g here, right? So from here when we substitute all the values, right, when we substitute all the values here, we get the value, final value, to be equal to, since capital A is 2000 centimeter square, 2000 root over of 10 by A. The small a is 1 and root g is 980, right? So from here this turns out to be equal to approximately 286 seconds, right, which is equal to 4 minute 46 seconds, right? So our answer is 4 minute 46 seconds. Thank you.
For class 6 to 12, IIT JEE and NEET level. Trusted by more than 5 crore students. Download Doubtnut app today.